Welcome to VAR from the Truth, where we talk all things football. Um, Me and Josh have known each other for years, played football, talk about football all the time. Obviously, so yeah, we've just been meaning to do this for a while, haven't we?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Long time coming, and yeah, we just wanted to just do what we do normally, but little recording and get on
Yeah,
with it, really.
it'd be good to document obviously everything that we talk about on a day-to-day basis, and obviously, hopefully, in the future when we can, probably like get together and do it in
Yeah,
person.
this
Bring up.
this is only the beginning, really. We've
Mm.
got some big plans for the future. It's our first one. We're working on a studio,
Yeah,
so it's going to be nice and bougie in there and talk about football, innit?
absolutely.
Um,
Hopefully, get some guests on in the future,
yeah,
etc.
definitely, and just have fun in it while we're doing it. So,
Absolutely.
bro, what did you think of the opening weekend of the Premier Leagues?
Uh,
Obviously, it was like a long time coming. I think
yeah, yeah,
we've been counting down for this moment for
yeah.
months, innit? Like,
Literally, like I missed it so much. Like I don't think like people realize like how like especially there was a summer with like no like obviously like tournament football. There was literally no football at all. It was so boring. So like, it was just so nice to like have it back properly. Do you know what I mean? I was so happy like it's finally back. Um, and like to be fair, it was a good opening weekend. Like there was like a lot of good games. Obviously we'll get into more of them, but yeah, a lot of good games. I thought like a couple of promoted teams did well, which again obviously we'll get into more specifically. But yeah, so glad to have it back, to be honest.
yeah, bro, 100%. And me, I just spent most of the summer just looking on X and
Mm.
seeing looking up for Ornstein bombers and
Yeah,
Fabrizio Romano updates because obviously just see it because it's been the craziest transfer window that
yeah,
I ever remember.
yeah. No, absolutely,
It,
absolutely.
it's been nuts. I can't remember one anything like this.
Yeah,
Even it's not even over yet. Like
yeah, yeah.
we've
It's
got a few
still.
days left. Do you know who Newcastle just signed?
No.
That they just signed a striker, bro. Let me get his name. That German Don, that Bayern Munich one, Wolfster.
Oh, the under 21s
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, they signed him for 80 million.
I swear.
Yeah, so that means, bro, that means
That's, yeah,
Isaac. That only means one thing, doesn't it?
yeah. Well, I saw on Instagram, and I mean, it depends how much you like trust some of these things that you. But I saw it really like quickly, and it was like Isak had moved out of his house in Newcastle.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it looks that way, I guess. But yeah. If they sign that guy,
yeah.
he was
Nick.
really good in the under 21 tournament.
So about an hour ago, Nick Voltemade to Newcastle. Here we go. Agreement in place after official bid accepted.
Mm.
Fee over 80 million euros plus add-ons. Medical in England the next 24 hours.
It's a lot of money,
That's a lot of money.
but
Do you know? Do you know what instantly springs to mind where I'm seeing some of the fees that these strikers are going for?
mm,
How Gyökeres went to Arsenal for so cheap
yeah,
compared to these crazy prices. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I guess obviously the only thing you can put it down to maybe might be age. With
Yeah, he's
Gyökeres.
obviously really young.
Yeah. Same with like Ekatike, Sesko. Like they've obviously got a few more years on their side, but I think for like goal scoring, I think Gyökeres is out of
Bargain.
the available strikers. Like yeah, it looks like a bargain. Obviously you got to wait and see, wait till the season's over
Yeah,
to see what happens. But at the moment, yeah, he looks a good player.
yeah, definitely. But that signing's big, man, because that means that's the catalyst really for Isak, isn't it, to Liverpool?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think like when you look at their opening game, obviously against Bournemouth, they
Yeah,
didn't.
4-2.
Yeah, like I think the scoreline flattered them, to be honest.
Very much.
Um,
They're lucky to have won that.
yeah,
But
they.
I mean, the thing that's clear for me with Liverpool over the first two opening games
Mm.
is I think they're very good going forward. I mean, Ekatike, he looks like an absolute signing. Like
Yeah.
he looks like he can create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Which is what you want.
Yeah.
They I feel like they feel a bit unbalanced to me. Like I'm not quite sure how their midfield is working with their
Yeah.
strikers and
The fullbacks there.
the fullbacks. There's just something. I'm sure Arnie Slot's going to probably like be tweaking this, and I think if they sign Mark Guehi, then that
Yeah.
would be a really good signing for them, and probably
Yeah.
shore them up a lot at the back and make them a little bit more compact. But at the moment, it seems like Liverpool are going to be involved in some fun games this season.
Yeah.
High-scoring games.
Absolutely. First two games have proved that already. I think
Konate looked a bit shaky.
Yeah, mate, he almost looks like he does. He looks a shadow of the player that he was last season.
I mean,
You can only, I guess, put it down to this sort of like contract negotiations that have been going on or seem to have been going on for him. Obviously, he's thinking about going to Madrid. Would be next summer, I guess, as a free agent. The two fullbacks as good as Frimpong looks going forward.
The thing is, Frimpong for me, when Frimpong's always been a gamble in my head because I mean he used to be a right winger, played right wing back really for Bayer Leverkusen, didn't he? Obviously, unreal going forward. There's not doubt in that. Like he looks absolutely rapid. You saw a bit of that in the Community Shield as well. He just looked gas, bro. But the question mark is how do you know what? How's he going to defend on crosses of players arriving late on him? A team going to target his heading ability at the back post. Do you know what I mean? I think it's very interesting, and I think a lot of people have Liverpool as the biggest favourites for the Prem, but I think it's going to be more interesting than a lot of people think, even if they get Isak.
Yeah. I mean, you've only got to look at the I think it was the first goal that Newcastle scored to make it 2-1. They cross it in, and Kirkes defending at the back post, and the guy just gets a header on him.
Yeah, he just wanted it more.
Or defending, like
it was.
So I think that's obviously.
Obviously, we're kind of talking a bit of Liverpool here, but yeah, literally that performance, they were very, very lucky to win that game.
Yeah, obviously Newcastle didn't help themselves. I think Gordon was absolutely rash.
The thing is, I had a lot of chat because it was such a hyped up game. I mean, everyone was talking about it because, the whole it was the Isak derby, really, wasn't it? A lot of Newcastle fans are really annoyed, and I think that may have affected the Newcastle players a little bit because it probably meant so much to them, and I think it worked to get instead of helping them perform, it actually did a little bit of the opposite for Gordon. But the rest of the players, take my hat, what performance! Like, and they're 10 men, they dominate the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what they always say? Sometimes it's more difficult to play against 10. To be fair, which I don't know. I think. I guess is true because you see it a lot, but it sounds ridiculous because you've literally got an extra man on the pitch. You should be able to make it count, and obviously in the end they did.
They did. They had the spare man. 16-year-old Rio on your debut. What a feeling that must have been.
Absolutely. Yeah, similar to obviously Max Dowman at Arsenal, 15 and 16 respectively.
Yeah.
And both with an impact on their debuts.
I mean, that moment for him is kind of what dreams are made of, really. Like that's what you dream as coming on.
Yeah.
St. James's Park.
Scoring the winner.
Breaking the deadlock, scoring the winner. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And what a dummy by Szoboszlai as well. That was awesome. So, I mean, they've got the attacking talent. It's just my question marks with them at the moment are can they defend? Can they so far they went away to St. James's Park, didn't play very well, got the win, which is really what matters, and it's the sign of champions, really.
It is. However, I think they will eventually get found out.
Yeah, they can't
Um,
keep playing like that.
no, you can't.
Like,
Because not necessarily a better team, because Newcastle are a very good team, but a team with 11 men and a team that will take their chance, because Gordon missed a couple of chances early on
yeah.
that Isak probably would have scored, to be honest.
I mean,
So,
if Isak plays for Newcastle,
they
that
would have been out of sight early on.
and also if they kept 11 men on the pitch, they win that game.
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt. So I think, yeah, they can't keep defending like that. They will get found out. Obviously, it'd be a big game on Sunday, Liverpool, Arsenal at Anfield.
Then
So
massive game.
I'm sure we'll be watching that.
It already feels like such an important game. 2 games in,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
I think
six,
it's
six,
going to tell us a
six
lot where
pointer.
it's going to tell us a lot where both teams are at.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah,
but we'll get to that point. Let's just go through a few of the real eye catching results.
Yeah,
This opening Premier League game, obviously Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. I mean,
yes,
that's a great result when you're just coming up to the Prem, isn't it?
absolutely. I mean, the
And
Stadium of Light. I think we sort of remember Sunderland really being a Premier League team.
yeah, you
um,
think Sunderland, you think Premier League, don't you? You don't.
yeah. You think that goal, the Darren Bent against Liverpool with the
Oh,
beach ball. Like,
oh,
do you know what I mean? So you
what
think
goal that
Sunderland,
is!
and you think Premier League. So the stadium looked like it was absolutely bouncing, and actually played very well.
Mate, they look good. They look really good, and they look physical as well, which I
Yeah,
liked.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Like I think I saw a piece. Gary Neville was saying about the teams that come up. Obviously, last season, you remember Burnley with Vincent Company, and they were playing football, but they weren't getting any points. Uh,
do you know a good example of this was Leeds at the Emirates
mm,
this past weekend. Obviously, Arsenal 5, Leeds 0.
yeah,
But they were trying to play out the back and just inviting Arsenal onto them, and they
yeah,
were playing right into Arsenal's hands. And I
yeah,
think, obviously, it's easier said than done. You're playing one of the best teams
mm,
in England, who was set up to press.
yeah,
But could they have maybe had a bit of a different game plan
mm,
to try and use a bit more physicality? I understand that probably easier said than done going to the Emirates
yeah.
when
Of
you just
course.
come up, but it's a bit of a could they have done something differently?
Yeah, and also you've got to think.
At the end of the season, I mean, a 5-0 loss, that's going to impact your goal difference. Is there something you could have done to keep it to 3-0? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the season, those couple of goals extra, you never know what that might do. So I think, as a team coming up, of course, you want to get the ball down and play. But if you've got some physicality, you might as well, get the ball in and use it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Other results, I think Tottenham played well, 3-0 against
Yeah,
Burnley.
yeah.
Obviously, Man City. Reinders looks a player, doesn't he? He looks like he's made for the Prem.
Both feet.
Obviously, talking about Tottenham and Man City, good result for Man City, but then they met in game week 2.
Hmm.
Tottenham just
As they always do against Man City, I think.
it's their bogey. Yeah, it is. That
Yeah,
they know how to beat them.
Yeah, home and away. They seem to always pull their number.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I watched quite a bit of the game. And Tottenham first half very very good. Obviously went 2-0 up. And then second half it was a bit more of like a
Thomas Frank, really.
yeah.
Of
The urgency in the second half, urgency was on Man City to do something to get back in the
course.
game. They
Yeah,
just seemed out of ideas. They
they did.
really, they seemed like they couldn't break down Thomas Frank's side at all. And I think from the first 2 games of the season, we can't get too carried away because we've seen
Mm.
Tottenham like Ange Postecoglou's first season. They were
A
they
good
were on
start.
fire. They had a
Yeah,
brilliant start. So,
Yeah,
but as it stands, they look like a difficult team to beat this year, and they look well organised. They're
absolutely.
probably aiming to get a couple more players in before deadline day as well. But
yeah,
what a performance against Man City! And especially after Man City had that feel-good factor, after
Mm.
a very good performance at Wolves. It was against Wolves, got to bear that in mind, but
Yeah,
it was good, and
Absolutely.
it's gonna great result. And then Palace Chelsea 0-0. Eze's last game for Palace.
yeah,
It's
it
a bit
was.
VAR got involved quite
Yes.
controversially in that game to rule out Eze's goal.
Yeah.
That would have been, and it ended up 0-0. So
Mm.
probably cost Palace the win there.
Yeah, and I think obviously again I watched a bit of the game and I saw afterwards they put out a statement about what the ruling was and why it was disallowed, and it made sense. However, I didn't even know that rule existed, to be
Nor did
honest.
For me, when I watched it, I was like, no way. That seems really hard.
Yeah,
I would have been, if I was a Palace fan, I feel very hard done by.
yeah, because we've
Uh,
never sort of seen
I've
that
never seen it before. And
before.
I think the main thing that for me VAR need to do this year is consistency. It can't
Mm.
be they can't change from game to game at all. You can't have 1 week one decision going one way and then next week the same thing happens but it's not a pen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can't have inconsistency. It has to be the same because then if there is consistency throughout the season, you can't complain as much because you're like, hang on, it's the same for all the teams. It's
Exactly.
very hard it's very hard for them, but you've got to think the level VAR is interfering with big games and changing momentum and changing people's seasons. It has
Yeah.
to stay consistent. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think, you know, I, I don't actually know what the referees do week to week, but you'd think that, say after the games, the last game on a Sunday, Monday morning, you think that most of the referees would at least, maybe watch the controversial points of each game, and sort of identify, okay, this is what happened this week. Let's be consistent with that next week.
yeah,
So, for example, the another opening day game, Leeds 1-0 against Everton, and the
yeah,
James Tarkowski penalty, where they deemed, I guess, that he sort of leaned into the ball with his arm. If that happens again in 3 or 4 weeks' time, you'd hope to see the same consistency there. Whether people think it's a penalty or not is subjective. It's always going to be. But if it's consistent with that, in a few weeks' time or a couple of months down the line, then you can't really argue.
yeah. Like you could, it's that referral back, isn't it? Like you can
Mm.
refer back to that Tarkovsky incident, and then teams will start to understand you can't do that anymore. And then
Yeah.
us looking back as fans who love the game, we also appreciate that consistency because it's every team kind of gets the same straw. No team's getting the short straw. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I completely agree.
So that's my hope for this season when it comes to
Mm.
VAR. I just want some consistency
Yeah.
because I think it will make a real difference for us fans being able to enjoy the game about these
Mm.
controversial incidents. Obviously, it makes for great talking points. Like we've named the
Yeah,
podcast after it. Like,
of course, yeah.
but we don't want to be talking about the ref. Like I want to be talking about like brilliant skill from the players or a fantastic team performance.
Yeah, of course.
That's basically my hopes for
Yeah.
this season when it comes to VAR.
And I think lastly on that,
The one good thing that they're doing this season and that we've seen already is where the referee will communicate with the fans in the
Yeah,
stadium.
love that, bro.
I think that's a really big thing, and I think from what I've seen, they're also putting replays on the
Yeah,
screens in the stadium as well. So that's a really big thing because as much as it's easier for us at home, the fans in the stadium are probably they're more confused than anyone, and they're
I
there
mean,
like
100%. I know when I go watch a football game and the refs made a decision, especially in the VAR era. As a fan, you don't really have a clue when you're
yeah.
in the stadium of what's going on, and
Mm.
it's good that they are communicating with the fans now. And I think if the refs make these big decisions, they should stand on it and
yeah,
go and announce it in front of 60,000 people.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, last real big game of week 1 was Arsenal Manchester United,
Mm.
and I mean, what a game that was.
Yeah,
In terms of we're
I
both
think.
Arsenal fans.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a hard watch, mate, for me.
I think had my hands behind my head for most of the game.
Yeah, I was hiding behind the sofa, bro.
Yeah,
Uh, it was. The thing is, going into the game, there was just this narrative. It is such a big game for Arsenal because
yeah,
they have to hit the ground running,
hmm
and Old Trafford, a bit like, is kind of our bogey ground. We never play
Yeah,
well there. I've
yeah,
watched Arsenal a few seasons ago put in a really good performance, and we lost 3-1.
yeah.
Even last season, probably outplayed Man United,
hmm
1-1.
Yeah.
Um,
And that was the worst Man United team we've ever seen.
yeah,
But
there's something about Old Trafford that
yeah,
Arsenal don't play. They don't seem to get the results there or play well. And
yeah.
I think I saw a statistic that we've beaten them every time we've beaten them at Old Trafford. It's been 1-0 for
Hmm.
many years. It's never been more than 1-0, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
I
And
mean, I don't.
also, Mikel Arteta is responsible for 50%.
Yeah,
Correct. I might be wrong, but it's in around those numbers.
Yeah,
50% of our victories at Old Trafford have come from Mikel Arteta, which
mental,
is
isn't
crazy.
it?
I don't know if that correlates with United's decline and Arsenal's rise a little bit,
Mm.
because obviously, many years ago United were always there
Yeah.
and thereabouts, and going to Old Trafford was probably much tougher than it is now. But
Mhm.
it's fair play to Arteta for having that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good
Stat to have, and long may it continue.
Long may it continue.
But yeah, in terms of the game, I think even when we scored, I wasn't I wasn't ecstatic because United were playing well. They continued to play well after the goal. Cunha made some lovely runs that game. And
And,
Boomer
and
looked
Boomer
really good.
looks really good in that first half, especially. Even
Um,
Mason Mount,
Yeah,
he was playing some really dangerous passes,
absolutely.
and seemed to they played really really well. And Dorgu, he was a
Yeah,
constant threat down that left hand side,
yeah,
hitting the post, and we really struggled to contain them. Like, we couldn't get the ball, couldn't get hold of the ball. I thought Zubimendi looked a little bit nervous,
mm,
especially in that first. I do understand that he hadn't trained that week because I think he had a bit of a cold or
right,
the
right.
flu. But he looked a little bit like, this is your first game in the Prem at Old Trafford. You
yeah.
Nerves get the best of you. Nerves got
I
the
mean,
best of him. But he settled into the game, and
yeah. And I think, to be honest, when the fixtures came out and I saw that we were at Old Trafford first game of the season, I thought, you know, like what sort of start is that? Even if you look at our first six fixtures, obviously Old Trafford away, Leeds at home, Anfield away. I think Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, and Man City are in that first six games.
yeah,
It doesn't get much harder than that, to be
uh,
honest.
it's tough.
Um,
It's a very
so
start.
Yeah, it was good to just
get out of there with 3 points.
Yeah, it's just one of those games. Like, that's what champions do.
yeah.
Again, we spoke about Liverpool earlier on.
Mm.
Not playing well, but leaving with the 3 points. And I think, for me as an Arsenal fan, that's all I really cared about. Uh,
Yeah.
but touching on United in that game, I mean, even I felt, God, United might
Mm.
be back.
Yeah.
Might be back, but I'm seeing an improvement,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's probably the best they played against us in years. And obviously,
Yeah, without a doubt. And
obviously with these new signings, they spent a lot of money up
mm,
top with Shesko, Cunha, and Buma.
Yeah.
Um, and I was I was really impressed by them. And I think I messaged you saying I think United might be a different kettle of fish this season.
however,
However,
I think the
I was
next two
I was
games they played.
completely. I ate my hat off to say that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the game against Fulham, to be honest, only sort of highlights.
Obviously, Fulham won, Manchester United won.
Yeah, I did watch a little bit of the game, and I thought United started quite well. They started with a bit of intensity. They had a
Yeah.
few chances. I think um, beautiful balls played over the top to Cunha, and he like almost had this moment where it was almost Suarez-esque, where he brought it down and put it
Yeah.
past the keeper, but it's a great save in the end by Bernd Leno.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't really kick on.
No.
Obviously,
didn't.
Bruno Fernandes
Well,
with that
again,
penalty got
yeah,
annoyed because the ref
S-
went into him,
barged into him, and
barged into him, and he couldn't get his. I think that from him that was really poor.
I mean, from a player that is probably best part of £200,000 a week, you think that a referee barging, if it meant that much, surely you could go back to the ball, pick the ball back up, start again, and start your process again. I think that's us as footballers, a long time ago, probably you would have thought of that, or you just shake it off. But to continue to whine about it, throughout the whole game and after the game, I thought was ridiculous, to be honest.
100%, bro. And I know it's our first podcast, but
Mm.
I've been saying this to anyone that can listen for years. I understand Bruno Fernandes is a good player.
Yeah.
He gets. I know he gets his assists, and I know he gets his goals. But I personally do not think Man United are going to get anywhere with Bruno Fernandes in their team.
Especially
Full stop.
not as a skipper either.
Not as a skipper for me. He's always. I've always felt with Bruno that he's almost an extremely selfish player. Even when he plays in the Portuguese team, there's just something like he demands to take all the free kicks and penalties. I think he's even like shooed Ronaldo a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I think his general attitude is just one of the problems at United. I do think if they sell him, they should cash in on him.
Yeah.
Let him go to Saudi Arabia, invest that money in some centre midfielders that can have some legs and that can carry the ball and keep the ball, and
Yeah, because you'd like to think now with Sesko, Cunha, and Mbumo, that's your goals and assists there.
yeah.
That a Fernandez might have got you in the last few seasons, and you take potentially Fernandez out of that team. You put they've been looking at Baleba. I don't think it's going to happen this summer, but you put a player like that in there with legs that can get about, and they'd probably be better off.
I think if you went up to 50 Man United fans and you asked if you could swap Bruno for Baleba right now, I think the majority would swap
Yeah,
it.
I think so. I think they've
Right now, just because of the summer they've had, I think they need a fresh start. And he's a big character. He's a big character in that dressing room, and he's probably got his quality. I do think he's a great player. I just don't think he's what Man United need and have needed. And I think he's part of the problem. He seems like a difficult player to control as a manager as well. I think he's probably quite a big personality in the dressing room, and I think I've just had this feeling for years that Bruno Fernandes is never going to get Man United anywhere, and I think when they sell him, they might seize. The thing is with Man United, it's almost from the top, isn't it?
It's one thing after another with Man United, to be honest, and even though I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna bash United every week. I'm not gonna bash Tottenham. If a team's playing well,
if a team's like Tottenham, they played unbelievable against Man City.
Exactly.
If United play well, I'm going to give them their props, and that goes for any team. That goes for any team in the league.
If Arsenal play badly,
I'm going to they can hold that, and I'll speak about it.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, Man United, it's just they are the topic of conversation. Obviously, after they crashed out the Carabao Cup last night.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I didn't watch the
probably
game.
one of the most. Do you know what? I only turned the game on when they went 2-0 down.
Right. Okay.
Because when I saw that, I thought, "Hang on, I need to see what's going on." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to see what Grimsby Town are up to. And then I watched the highlights, and I must say, Onana has to do better for
Oh, yeah.
both goals. You
Yeah.
can't be beaten at your near post. You can't be beaten at your near post. And again, set pieces, they just can't defend them. He came
Onana.
out his net, went
Yeah.
to punch it and missed it. And
Yeah.
they need a new keeper.
Yeah. I mean, with
And then
Onana and Bayern just.
I mean, it's laughable. It's
it is
laughable.
laughable. And it's just the fact that they're both. It's hilarious that they both can't deal with set pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Bayern is just as bad as Onana at set pieces.
Just as the Arsenal game proved.
Yeah.
You know, they are just as bad as each other.
And they need to sort it out, because every time they play any team, they're just going to be like, you're going to put that ball on that keeper's head every single time.
Anytime anyone gets a corner or
an opportunity for a long throw, they're going to say, put it underneath the crossbar and let's get people in there. You know, if I was a Sunderland or a Leeds, whenever I play United, best believe I'm putting that ball underneath the crossbar and saying, let's go and attack it.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what, mate? Because it's happening so often now, it causes anxiety in the stadium. Like every time United are conceding a set piece now,
the fans are
going to be like, and the away fans or the home fans from the other team, they're going to be like, oh, here's and players can sense that energy and that nervousness. And if you don't have confidence in your keeper, it's a bit like Arsenal a few seasons ago when, well, even last season, we were being talked about by everyone about our set pieces. It's almost like every time Arsenal got a set piece,
it was you sort of
everyone like got the crowd got up because Gabriel going to get his head on it, and it's kind of the opposite for United now, really.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's been an interesting first game weeks, to be honest, and obviously Arsenal are at the top of the league right now. Spurs in a close second. Liverpool have won both their games, and I mean, let's talk a little bit about this Liverpool-Arsenal game this weekend on Sunday, 4:30. It feels like a big game already, doesn't it? It's just got that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
when we mentioned the game earlier, I said I think it might be a 6-pointer. You know, this early on.
It's that old-fashioned 6-pointer.
Yeah. However,
I don't think whether it's a draw or whether Arsenal or Liverpool lose, I don't think either team should get carried away with losing or winning.
I mean, that's maybe the benefit of that game being so early on, isn't it? Because there's so much still to play for. If you lose that game, it's not like you're losing that game in April.
No, and also
after this game, you do have a 2-week break, which obviously you don't want to go into that 2-week break and losing, but you just still got a couple of weeks rest there. Obviously, a lot of the players will be going on international duty. Some of them won't be, but a couple of weeks just to rest and think about it, and obviously come back for their next game. And I think also the return fixture at the Emirates is it's near the end of January. So it's not like it's a game in May or April where it could potentially be defining. Both of the games are quite early on in the season. But yeah, going back to the game on Sunday, the atmosphere is going to be incredible.
It's going to be a cauldron. The Liverpool fans are going to be, they're going to be biting at the bit to get a big atmosphere there. I mean, you can never fault that atmosphere really at Anfield, especially for these big games. It's definitely the biggest game of the season so far in terms of like title contenders, and it's going to be interesting to see how both teams handle it. It's exciting because we have new matchups on the pitch. How's Gyökeres going to do against Konate and Van Dijk?
Yeah.
How's Ekitike going to do with Saliba and Gabriel? How's Kirkaz going to do up against Madueke? Because obviously, Saka's not going to play. Eze's going to be making his first appearance for Arsenal, which
you'd like to think he's probably going to start the game.
You'd like to think so, but it could. You know what Arteta's like. He if he trusts him, then he will start him. I think he should start him. I think he should be brave, and on that left wing, he should start Eze.
Yeah, and I think
it's not like Eze.
Turn my light on. Bear with me.
No worries.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I think it's not like Eze
needs to get up to speed. He's already played the last game for Crystal Palace. So it's not like how sort of Gyökeres was, where he still needs to find his fitness. Eze should be fully fit. He's got minutes in the tank this season already, so he can, if Arteta wants to, put him straight into the starting 11, which I personally think he should. Especially if both Saka and Odegaard are going to be out. Obviously, we're not sure on the Odegaard one just yet, but the game should be a really good one. I don't know how did Liverpool approach the game? How did Arsenal approach the game? What do you think?
I feel like Liverpool are gonna come out all guns blazing. I think that's just the way they play. They're not going to sit back at home. They don't sit back at home against anyone. They're at Anfield. They're going to press Arsenal high, a bit like last season. They're going to try to get that early goal, take advantage, and they're going to make life pretty tough for Arsenal. I think Arsenal probably going to be a little bit more conservative, maybe play a little bit in the transition, trying to hit them on the break, which is not Arsenal's biggest skill. And I think Liverpool are really gonna try to, get the ball into Ekitike and Wirtz and play some intricate passes around Arsenal's box and try and get a goal very as quickly as they possibly can. Because I do feel that Liverpool's strength and depth at the moment, you never know, they might have Isak for that game because they could very possibly. It's Friday tomorrow. It'll probably take a little bit of time. He probably wouldn't make the game even if he did sign. But they seem a little bit. If you look at that team, their starting 11, they've got the players there. So when you start looking at the bench, they don't have too many options there really. I know he's been taking Ekitike off in the last 2 games and bringing people like Harvey Elliott on. He's been moving Szoboszlai back into midfield. In terms of left winger, they've got Rio. But right wing, they don't. Harvey Elliott probably. They just don't seem to have the strength and depth that Arsenal have. So I really think Liverpool's best chance is probably in that opening 60 minutes to try and assert themselves and get the game won, because when changes are forced to happen, I feel that Arsenal could probably take over the game. I think the longer the game goes for Arsenal, the better.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think, we both said it, before to each other that I think Luis Diaz is going to be an absolutely massive miss for Liverpool.
I think I really rated Diaz, and you can see already the start he's made at Bayern. I think he's a player to watch in the Champions League as well. I think
absolutely.
I think Bayern are a team to watch with the signing of Luis Diaz, and I think Liverpool fans really. I think he was super underrated at Liverpool.
Yeah,
because he did. Yeah, he wasn't clinical. He missed some chances, but sometimes I feel a player is a little bit more than their conversion rate, and I feel like with Luis Diaz, he was almost like an infectious player that really got the team going, pressed high.
He got the fans off their seat.
Exactly, and he got the fans off their seat.
whenever he got the ball, you knew he was gonna, drive at someone. And that's kind of what you want in one of these types of games. I think that's what Eze might bring. When Eze gets the ball, he's looking to punish you. He's looking to go past someone, play a pass, or get a shot off. And I think Arsenal black that a bit especially out wide. Obviously,
Very much so.
we know Saka can do it.
We know
Martinelli,
Saka can do it, but sometimes when you're so reliant on that one player, like if you think about it, with Liverpool, they did have Luis Diaz, but then they had
yeah,
Saka as well. And I mean, it's so hard to stop both. And we're seeing teams just last season, especially, just double up on Saka, not giving him any space. And if you're constantly going over to that right wing every time and trying to play intricate passes with Erdegaard, I mean, it gets predictable, and teams start to know how to stop you. And I think that's what might. I mean, Cody Gakpo he is a good player, but I don't think he's quite at the level of Luis Diaz. And also, Diaz could go up top, couldn't he? He played the false nine quite a bit, and he's so rapid and scored some important goals for Liverpool this season.
And I think also just touching on Salah there, the first two games. Obviously, the first game, he scored. The second game, he got an assist for the winner. Although
It's just it's almost a typical
it's
Salah
typical,
performance.
typical Salah, absolutely quiet all game, and
And then
then
comes up with a big moment.
pops up with something, and I feel like again, by Monday morning, I might be eating my words, and saying that Salah's been really quiet the first couple of games, and he might go and score a hat trick. Who knows? But
Capable of it. He's capable of it.
exactly. But he has been quiet the first couple of games. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Even with a goal and assist, he's just looked a shadow of last season. I don't think anyone thought he was going to get back to the stats of last season. It was 18 assists and 29 goals, I think it was.
Crazy.
Which, is absolutely bonkers. And I don't think anyone thinks he was going to get back to that this season again. But obviously we'll have to wait and see for Sunday to see how he plays. But he has been a shadow the first couple of games.
Here's a question for you, bro. Who are you playing? Who are you playing left back for Arsenal to go up against Salah?
I think Calafiori again.
Yeah.
So he's played the first couple of games. He's looked really good. Obviously, he got a goal against United. He got, I think, 2 assists against Leeds. And I just think, as much as I love Miles Lewis Skelly, I think amazing player. Obviously, still 18, 19 years old. I just think against the Salah, Skelly can be a little bit rash sometimes. Just in his positioning, I think it's just somebody he needs to learn. And I think with Calafiori, firstly, you've got that height for attacking and defending corners, and secondly, positioning. I think he's been very good for the first couple of games. So I'd leave the back five, including the keeper.
I mean, they haven't conceded a goal.
Definitely.
I'm gonna slightly disagree on you in this one. I'm gonna go with Lewis Skelly to start against Salah, and mainly I just feel like Lewis Skelly's actually played Salah very well the few times he's played against him, and I feel that Salah often has this like core strength over the fullback he's facing. Like often last season they would ping the ball up to him, and he's so compact and strong for his height. He seemed to like body these fullbacks.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only player apart from Nuno Mendes in the Champions League, but I feel like he did really struggle to play against Skelly because one of Skelly's best attributes is his strength, isn't it? He's so good at guarding the ball, and that's his game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just feel that 1-on-1, if Salah's running at Calafiori, I'd worry a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think he might just have that little bit. He is rash, so I'm nervous to start him as well. He can be rash,
Mm,
but I just feel him up against Salah. I just feel I'm slightly leaning towards Skelly, just
Yeah.
because of those points. But either one of
Yeah.
them, I'd be happy with. You know.
and I think as well, Skelly offers you something going forward with the ball that Calafiori probably doesn't. So that would also affect Salah. He might not be able to go forward as much
Yeah.
against Skelly that he would against Calafiori, because Skelly's going to go forward. So either retracts him or he lets him go, and it's
Yeah.
Skelly and Eze against Frimpong. Um,
It's going
so
to be interesting. It could go either way, and
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting game, man. I'm really looking forward to it. There's some other big games this weekend as well, which
yeah.
to touch on. Obviously, Chelsea playing Fulham,
Yeah.
and Man United, Burnley.
hmm
And I mean, that's already a very high pressure game for Ruben Amorim, isn't it? I mean,
He
they
needs
have to
he
win.
needs 3 points.
That's a
Yeah.
must win,
Yes.
and it's not a must win. I don't think he gets away with a 1-0, so scraping a 2-1,
No.
and it has to be a convincing performance at home.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
they need to play well. They need to win well.
And it won't be easy. Burnley will make it difficult for him. Scott Parker's team, they had a really good win against Sunderland
yeah.
the other day. I thought, what was it? Was it 3-0?
Yeah.
I think it was
I
3-0.
think it was 3-0. Yeah, I think.
Um,
And
Bro,
so.
a bit of sorry to interrupt you. A bit of breaking news, Man United related.
Mhm.
Here we go. Alejandro Garnacho to Chelsea Football Club for
Wow.
£40 million.
okay. I mean, it's obviously something they've wanted to happen. I think they've still got Tyrell Malacia and Anthony still on the and Sancho, still on the list of players that they want to get out of the club. And they've only got sort of three or so days to do that. But for Garnacho to go, I mean,
So, where do you think Garnacho fits into that Chelsea squad? Like, because I mean, if you look at Chelsea's lineup now, they've obviously got that Esteval,
mhm,
Cole Palmer,
Yeah.
Gittins, João Pedro, Liam Delap,
Pedro Neto.
Pedro Neto. So
Mm,
there's a lot of good wingers there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Madueke is now at Arsenal.
yeah.
Probably that might take a bit of a Madueke kind of role in the squad where he's playing some games, but sitting on the bench in others. Like, do you think he can be a starter for Chelsea?
Um.
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I think Garnacho. I think he's a good player. I think there's a good player in there.
Yeah,
Um,
he's got
there,
the like he's got talent, doesn't he?
yeah, there's no doubt about it that there's a player in there. It's just whether the Chelsea Enzo Maresco can find that and can keep it consistent. And obviously, yeah, who does he keep out? Because Esteban got man of the match the last game that they played, um, and Pedro Neto, I think, is a very good player. So he's going to have to do well in training and perform in the games to
And he's going
even
to have to take his
start.
opportunities, isn't he? 100%.
Absolutely, absolutely. But for 40 million, for a young player, I think he's 21, and he has scored goals and assisted goals in the Premier League before, so he knows what he's doing. It's not a bad signing, I don't think. However, I just think Chelsea have too many in that position. I
Yeah.
just
Chelsea. Speaking on Chelsea, they've had a very good start to the season as well. Really, apart from that Palace draw, they
Mm,
won the Club World Cup, and I
yeah,
feel like Chelsea have a little bit of momentum coming into this season. And
Yeah.
now they've got a couple strikers as well that seem to be like João Pedro's scoring goals.
Mm.
Their midfield solid. I think that the obvious areas where they need to improve are their centre backs and their keeper.
Yeah.
For me, I think Sanchez is probably gonna cost them a few points this year, and we know how important you have to have an elite goalkeeper in a squad that's challenging. And also, obviously, Levi Colwell's out for
Yeah.
most of the season, who was a very important player for them. And I think maybe that Garnacho money could have been invested in a Gianluigi Donnarumma or a
I mean, I don't know why,
centre back.
yeah, I don't know why Chelsea, Man United, are not trying to go for Donnarumma.
It seems like his wages are probably high, but it seems
but
like a no-brainer.
yeah, but
Chelsea and Man United pay high wages.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it seems like a no-brainer. It seems like obviously he's been forced out of PSG, so they can't be looking for a massive transfer fee if they're they want to get him gone. So I'm confused as to why none of those teams have gone for if we didn't have Raya, I'd be saying for Arsenal
Yeah,
to go and
100%.
get him.
100%.
um,
Yeah. And so lastly, really, bro, or I just wanted to go through our predictions really for this coming season. Obviously, we've had 2 games, but I think we should come up with VAR from the truths predictions, and then maybe we can look back at the end of the season and
Probably,
see
probably realize how far off we were, but
realize how far off we were, or we could start a little tradition and see who gets the most points each year, and you can have that on you next season, or you can have that over me.
yeah.
And then we'll just go from there, bro. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah. So what we
So
starting?
first off, let's start with the big one. Who's winning it all? Who's winning who's winning the Barclays Premier League this season?
Well, I know what my heart says, and I think again I could look back on this in May and just be like, wow, that was ridiculous. But I think, to be honest with you, my head and my heart says the same thing, and I think it might just be Arsenal's turn this year.
Yeah,
Just off the first couple of games, obviously it is only a couple of games, but just off of that, they haven't conceded a goal. They've scored 6 in total. They look really solid defensively. Midfield, the bulk of the team is the same, and they've only added good players in good positions that they needed. So I think this year's probably I think I'm going to go with Arsenal to win the Premier League.
fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Think for me, I've debated about this a lot.
Mm.
I think it's been very close between Liverpool and Arsenal, but I'm gonna go back to the squads a little bit and what's kind of made me lean towards Arsenal over Liverpool. And it has been. I don't want to jinx Arsenal because obviously I'd be buzzing if they won the Prem, but they have to earn it. And I think the signings that Arsenal have made, if you look at their second 11 now, it's a decent team.
Yeah.
And they just got that strength and depth that they haven't had for ever, almost, for very many years at least.
Yeah.
And I mean, for example, we lost Saka for 3 to 4 weeks last weekend, and the general consensus around Arsenal fans is the season's not over. Why? Because we've got Madueke as backup, who, by the way, after we've signed Eze, doesn't look like a bad signing at all.
No, it doesn't.
They fixed the striker issue, Gyökeres, Gabby Jesus coming back, and I just feel that they just seem like a very balanced team. I think before they signed Eze, I would have said Liverpool, but I think he just helps Arsenal unlock the teams that they struggled to break down last season and ended up costing them the league. And I think with such a long season ahead, I think that squad's just gonna allow them to get the job done, bro. So I think we're both on the same page there. And it's not because I'm an Arsenal fan.
No, me neither.
That I'm predicting them. It's just from the feeling, the summers they've had, and
first couple of games, really.
First couple of games, yeah. So, next question: who's going to win the Champions League?
It's so difficult because you look at last season, obviously with this new format, which, to be honest, I actually really like.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's a good format. Obviously, the draws come out today, and probably we'll talk about that probably a bit more next week potentially.
Yeah.
But you know, you had teams like PSG who went on to win it last season. They ended up in the playoff match. You know, on the brink of sort of going out. Whereas you had Liverpool who, you know, top
the league standing,
top the league standings, and
then went out to obviously PSG in the
quarterfinal. I think the round of 16.
round of 16.
So it's anyone's game.
Just to quickly touch on some of the teams, obviously, I think PSG would be there and thereabouts again. Barcelona got to the semi-final last season. No doubt they'll be there thereabouts. Real Madrid, I don't know. The first couple of opening games that I've sort of watched the highlights of in La Liga, I don't know. Maybe, potentially they might click later in the year.
Well, we know what Real Madrid are like in the Champions League.
Exactly. You can never write them off. But I don't have them down as a winner. So I think for me, I'm actually going to go to Bayern Munich. I think Kane, Elise, Musiala, Diaz. I mean that is a sort of front line of options.
Fun team, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Obviously, Musiala's injured, but
yeah, you'd imagine at some point
still,
later in the season
he's probably going to be back.
They've strengthened defensively as well. I think Bayern, they bought Tar, didn't they, from Leverkusen?
Yeah, Jonathan Tar.
I think Alphonso Davies is back in training.
Really?
So he's coming back from I think it was
they did batter. I know it was pre-season, but they did batter Tottenham.
They did, and they beat, I don't know who they played the other day, but they won like 6-0, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane scored a second half hat trick, I think, and
I
think Elise got on the score sheet, and Luis Diaz scored a really good goal as well. I mean, that's not a bad pick at all. That could definitely happen. I think Champions League, and I'm saying this because of one man and one man only. I think it's going to be Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I think
what
I saw from a young 17-year-old kid, Lamine Yamal, probably up there with one of the best players in the world right now. Obviously, he's had a very interesting summer. He's had a lot of fun. As
it's been reported,
as it's been reported. But I just think what I see him do, I haven't seen since Messi and Ronaldo.
I agree.
And I mean, even against, it's almost like when his team are in a bit of trouble, it's almost like he decides, I'm going to score a goal now, or I'm going to create an assist, especially in those. I know they ended up losing Inter, but didn't he hit the post or something in extra time? Or
someone made an
excellent save, I think it was.
Excellent save.
Yeah.
And I think they were maybe
as well.
Yeah. I think even last season, if Barca had played PSG in the final, that would have been really good game.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone wanted, to be honest.
Yeah. Obviously, they're a little bit dodgy defensively. Barca, they do ship some goals, but yeah, I think my prediction this season is a Barcelona. I think Lewandowski as well. He's obviously been one of the best players in the Champions League ever. I think it might be his last dance. Rashford as well. Mate, they've got a hell of a team. And do you know what? I really rate their coach Flick. I think he's top 3 in the world.
Absolutely.
I think he's top quality. I like the way he plays. He's almost like innovating football again. Sometimes when you watch that Barca team play with this new offside trap, and he seems to get it right more than he doesn't. And I mean, they were battering teams last season, that Barca team, and the comebacks were crazy.
Yeah,
they were crazy. So yeah, Barca's my pick.
Okay.
All right, back to the Prem. Who's coming second? Who's coming third? And who's coming fourth?
So I think Liverpool comes second. I think Man City third, and I think Tottenham come fourth. It's a toss up between Chelsea and Tottenham. But I am going to stick my neck on the line, and I think with Thomas Frank, I think they need to do a little bit of business before the end of the window. Maybe just one or two, maybe one. Just another attacker, just an option. Yeah, just another option. Obviously,
James Maddison's out for the season,
which is obviously going for him and going for England with the World Cup coming up next summer. But yeah, I think if they get another attacker in there, from how they've looked the first couple of games, again it's still early, but I think potentially they could sneak a place. So I'm going to go Tottenham at fourth.
Nice, bro. I'm going to go. I'm debating on doing something mad here. I'm going to go Chelsea second.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just going to... I just have to, bro. I just have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Chelsea second. I'm going to go Liverpool third. And Man City fourth.
Yeah.
The reason I think Liverpool are going to come third is because they can't carry on playing how they've been playing. And I don't think they can afford to concede that many goals. I think Van Dijk might have taken a step back, and Konate as well. And I just think if you go into, how Tottenham, they were very good to watch, very good going forward, but they will get caught out. And I just feel that if they carry on playing in that way, I think a compact team like Chelsea, who seem like they've got a good balance there, especially with the new players they've signed. I just think they might find a higher level of consistency than Liverpool.
Yeah.
And in terms of Man City, it's Pep Guardiola, but from what I've seen so far as well, they just seem to. It's almost like he hasn't evolved. They seem to have the same issues at the back. He plays a high line with slow players, and I don't see those weaknesses in Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you can't. They've got some pace at the back, and their two centre backs are not the best, but I feel like they're just might be a little bit more consistent than those two teams, and that's a mad thing to say. I know, but time will tell. We've kind of both gone a bit mad on those predictions, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So fifth and sixth, who you going for?
Well, is fifth still a Champions League place this season, or does it depend on how they do?
I think it depends how the teams do. So if the English teams do well, then yeah, it could happen again. So really, it's a top five. They probably will.
I think fifth place. I mean, Forest have looked good. We haven't really spoke about Forest. They've looked good. Villa have been mediocre. They've lost a couple of players. Potentially Newcastle with that new striker they've just signed.
Good sign.
So 5th place, I think I'm going to go Newcastle. I think
their backline in the midfield is solid. I think they proved that in that game against Liverpool the other day.
What a midfield they have.
Yeah,
As good as it gets in the Prem.
yeah. I mean, they could even sneak into the top 4. If this striker hits the ground running potentially. So I'm going to go Newcastle in 5th, and 6th place. I'm going to go Nottingham Forest. Actually, I think Villa have they haven't really signed anyone. They've lost a couple of players.
No Chelsea. No Chelsea in 5th and 6th.
Oh God, yeah, forgot that.
Oh God, I have to change this.
Chelsea. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go Newcastle 5th and Chelsea in 6th.
Okay. So we've kind of gone complete opposites when it's come to Chelsea. Haven't we?
I still think
they just don't have enough yet. Not compared to Newcastle, Liverpool, Man City, Spurs. It's a toss up. Like I said, it was a toss up before between Chelsea and Tottenham. But yeah, I'll go Chelsea 6th actually.
Fair play. Fair enough. I'm going to go Tottenham 5th and Newcastle 6th. Aston Villa 7th.
Okay.
I think they could just sneak in and get into 7th potentially. I think they've had a bit of a slow start to the season, but I think I think Aston Villa will collect some points. They've got a good team. They've got some good players.
The coach as well.
Emery knows what he's doing. So definitely think, that's kind of where my head's at.
To be honest with you, I think with Villa, just to touch on it really quickly, to be honest, with Villa, they're one of their best bets is probably to try and go as far as they can in Europa League.
100%. They
what
could win.
Yeah, I mean,
no teams drop down from Champions League anymore. Obviously, as we saw from Tottenham and United last year, they obviously got all the way to the final, and I think Villa are a much better team than those two teams were last season. So why can't they go all the way and win it? And same for Nottingham Forest might be able to get far, and Crystal Palace in the Conference League.
Yeah, I think Villa. I mean, I think what's really halted them a little bit this season is the PSR issues. They haven't really signed anyone. They haven't really improved too much on their squad. They obviously had Rashford and Asensio towards the end of last year, and I think that's just kind of hindered where I think they'll come in the league. I think if they had a really good summer, they could have easily been battling for that 5th and 6th spot with Newcastle. But just the summer they've had. I mean, Newcastle haven't had the greatest summer either, have they?
No.
But I just feel like they still have a little bit more than Villa at this time.
Yeah.
So, bro, relegation. Who's getting relegated?
I don't think so. Obviously, I think it's the last 2 seasons in a row. The 3 teams that have come up have gone straight back down.
Yeah.
I think one,
if not 2 of those teams might buck the trend this season. Obviously, difficult to say. It's still early. But who I think goes down, I think West Ham are in big trouble. Big trouble. Graham Potter's. I thought he was a good coach. When he was at Brighton, I thought he was a good coach. Then obviously he went to Chelsea. Didn't quite work out for him there. And now at West Ham, and the first couple of games, they've looked so off the pace. So I think they're in really big trouble. Do I think they'll go down? Surely they're too good to. But I'm personally going to put them. I'm personally going to say West Ham are going to go down, along with Burnley. I don't think they'll have enough going forward. In terms of, I think when a team comes up, you need a goal scorer, and I'm just not sure they have that. Obviously, they've got Josh Brownhill, who was I think he was second top scorer in the championship last season, but he's not necessarily an out-and-out goal scorer, so I think they'll go down. And my third team, I think I'll probably go with Leeds. So I think Sunderland are going to stay up. I think just with the stadium and with how they played in the first game, not necessarily the second game. Also, I know they lost to Burnley, but I think they might just have enough, potentially just to stay up. But it's a tough one to call.
Yeah, nice, bro. Yeah, I know that. Definitely, I hope that all three teams don't go straight down because I think it's bad for the league.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I don't think that's going to happen this season because I think there's a few teams in the Prem that have really, they're really going to struggle this year. They've had bad summers. They haven't improved. They've lost some key players in real key positions. And I think the first team I've got to agree with you is West Ham. I mean, I do see a world where they sack Graham Potter, bring in a different manager because they have the potential to do something like that. And survive. Just about.
And it's still early.
It's still early, but my gut feeling is West Ham are going to struggle. They're just so poor defensively. So poor.
Yeah.
Like they gifted Chelsea, and I'll tell you what, if Man United bad at set pieces, so West Ham.
Yeah.
Second team is Wolves.
Yeah. Okay.
They've lost Cunha. They've lost the left back, Nuri.
Yeah.
I think they on the verge of they couldn't even lose Larson. And they got a new manager as well. Didn't perform entirely, but they've lost their first two games. It's kind of, so that I just got a feeling those two are going to go down along with Burnley.
Yeah.
I just think Leeds have signed quite a few players that are quite physical. I know they don't really feature against Arsenal, but they seem to have maybe a little bit more fight than I think a Burnley are going to have.
I agree.
And I just about see Leeds that it's going to be close for Leeds and Sunderland. Sunderland, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, for sure. I can just see
both of those teams potentially picking up points.
Yeah.
When they need to. Whereas, West Ham are shocking the first couple of games.
They just don't seem interested. It just it feels something feels wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I don't know.
It feels toxic.
Yeah, it does. It does. It feels like how Arsenal felt a while ago.
It feels like West Ham's almost like how it's similar to Man United are right now. There's just that feeling in the club is just
there's a big disconnect with fans.
Yeah, very big disconnect. Very big disconnect. All right, bro. Only a few more, but top goal scorer.
Top goal scorer.
Probably, I think
he's got to be up there. I think, but I'll put my neck on the line and say Victor Gyökeres, top goal scorer Premier League this season. Yeah. I think obviously you can never rule out Haaland. You can never rule out Salah. A couple other players who I think will do well. I think he's just got enough to, he's going to be the person who's probably taking most of the penalties for us. We're going to be trying to feed him as much as possible. So if he stays fit, he's got every chance.
Yeah, it's good. Very good shout. I think it's a tough one. I want to say Haaland, but if Liverpool do get Isak.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that because he's not there yet as we're recording this, but I just have a feeling if Isak goes to Liverpool, I think he bangs some goals. I think he bangs a lot of goals. I think he probably, and I think Gyökeres is going to be there and thereabouts. He could definitely, I think he could be in that top 3 or 4. He could even win it.
Yeah.
I'd love him to as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to bet against Haaland because he does it every year.
Yeah.
No,
and he's already scored 2.
Yeah.
I know Gyökeres has as well. But Haaland is he's just a goal machine. It's almost like that's what he does.
Yeah, it's just inevitable, isn't it?
It's just like no assists, just goals.
Yeah.
No touches even. Like no, it's just goals, bro.
Like every time you go on like the live score app or whatever app you go on, you go on a Man City game, you just expect to see Haaland. You just expect to see it. Yeah.
And last one, bro. Who's the first manager to get sacked?
I think it's Graham Potter.
Yeah.
I think it's Graham Potter. It just if it continues like that, I think it is Graham Potter.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I can't either Abner or Graham Potter, but I feel that they'll give Abner a little bit more time after spending that much money.
Yeah, I think they have to, as much as maybe they might not want to, depending on how the next few weeks go. But I think they have to at least give him until probably January, I guess. Yeah. Obviously see where they are. But yeah, I think Graham Potter's in big trouble.
I agree, bro. Right, well, I think that wraps up the first VAR from the tree.
Actually, just one more. Yeah. I've got one more
prediction for you.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win the Ballon d'Or this year?
This year?
Yeah, so this one coming, yeah.
Dembele, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, won the treble. Top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Probably one of the standout players in the champs. I think I'd be very, very, very surprised if Dembele doesn't get that win.
Yeah, I think obviously a lot of people obviously leaning towards Yamal, potentially Rafinha, which I can understand. However, I also think Dembele probably deserves it this year.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone was really like. I don't think anyone. I think obviously we're so used to Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's it. Gone are the days of Messi and Ronaldo.
Sort of standing out with big numbers and trophies.
I think it just comes down now to trophy. I think the big one comes down to the Champions League. Who wins the Champions League? When it's not a World Cup or Euro season, I think it just comes down to who won the Champions League, and PSG won a historic treble, and Dembele was probably their star man. When it came to it, scored some big goals in the semis, scored against Liverpool. He scored some big goals, and I just think he's going to get it this year. And I think if Barca had won the Champions League, then we could be looking at Yamal or Rafinha easily. But that's just kind of like made it lean towards Dembele.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah. Well, bro, it's been a pleasure.
And you.
First one done, and many more to come. And
absolutely.
Be it VAR from the truth. See you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.